Hello, welcome back. Today I'm going to be creating some original art for my very first art market, which is coming up in just a few weeks. So I'm here to just try and create as much and have a art marathon and just try to create as many pieces as possible for the art market. So let's see how much I can get done. So it's about 2:40 right now, and I'm gonna set my timer and see how much I can get done and how long it actually takes me. So fortunately, I've already got all of my sketches out. So I did these all at night, and I think I've got about maybe 12 of them here. So let's see if I can finish them all. You're about to see me paint 100 paintings in real time. I'm in the middle of the biggest work I've ever made. This is why this month looks different from any other month in my life. I'm building towards my first art market in September, and that's why I need a full collection and not just a few favorites. But I'm making so many paintings so fast, which means I have to move quicker than I'm used to. And that's why I'm trusting my gut on every single piece instead of overthinking it. And it's changing how I paint. But you won't see the full collection until it's all together, so make sure you follow along to see the rest. So it's been about, I'd say, well, let's have a look. So it is now 6:25. I think I started at something like 2:40, so it's been an hour and a half or so. I finished painting this girl. I'm really happy with her. She's really funky, very cool. Not really finished yet. There are some finishing touches that I need to add to her once she's fully dried. Also, the same is true for this painting. I think I want to add some oil pastels to it as well once it's dried. So I really love this one. And then I drew another girl, and she's actually just taped down to my desk, so I can't really pick her up and show you. But that's what I've got done so far. So I'm gonna take a little break, make some really nice, delicious little snacks, and then hopefully I can get back into this and continue. So in the end, I ended up adding the finishing touches to my illustrations. So I finished this one, and then I finished my portrait. And the next one I finished was also this one as well. So 3 of them are finished. I've got more to go. I've got more sketches that I'm going to be painting in. I didn't get much done throughout the day because earlier on you saw me and I just finished painting those 3 pieces. Then I took a break, and then I had dinner, and then the evening went on. So now we're back at nighttime, and I'm doing a nighttime session. Let me know in the comments if anyone else feels a little bit more creative at night and just feels relaxed. I know some people love to wake up really early in the morning and start working. Whereas for me, my peace time is at night when everyone's gone to bed and there's no distractions. So right now it is 11:19, so it is pretty late, and I'm just gonna see if I can do maybe an hour or 2 or maybe another hour and a half and see how far I get with my paintings. So I'm back from my late night session. I'm finishing at 39, so 12:39, so past midnight. And I got 3 more paintings done today. So I did this one. I think this is my favorite at the moment. It is so cute. I just love it so much. And then my second favorite, I think I really love all of them. I love this one a lot. Wild and Free. This one's such a cute one. And then I also finished, this one's still quite wet. It's not actually finished because I need to do his eyes, but the eyes are still wet, and it's Fun and Games. So that's a really nice fun frog character. So I had a lot of fun finishing these paintings. So it's a new day and I got quite a lot of different paintings done yesterday, during the day, and also last night. I was quite happy with the paintings that I'd done. So I'm going to be doing another set of paintings and just see how many I can get done today. I'm starting at about 1:30 p.m. today. Earlier I had to go to the shops and get some things done before I could get started. So I'm actually starting a little bit later than I actually wanted to. I wanted to start much earlier, but as we know, things never go to plan. So we're gonna start at about 1:30, as you can see. Another flower. So I think I'm gonna do maybe a smaller one over here. Again in that pink. Just doing like some dashes here and being really free with it. And then I think I want to go for a yellow maybe. I think a nice yellow flower would look really good among all of these. So maybe I'll just do a nice little yellow one over here. Got a nice little yellow one there. And do another yellow one. Just coming over like this. That looks good. And maybe another yellow one at the top. These are really tall flowers. I'm just letting that one bleed into that one. It's a little bit too much bleed. I didn't want it to bleed that much. So I'm going to lift some of the colour off. I don't mind a little bit of bleed, but I didn't want it to bleed that much. That's quite a lot of bleeding. Coming of that colour into it a little bit is nice, but not too much. And now I think I'm going to go into my greens for the stems and just start filling in some of those areas. I'm just doing little lines for where they would be and just filling in those areas. And I just really love being really messy with it and being very free with my strokes. I feel like that really just creates a really fun and expressive kind of painting. And it's all about experimenting and finding your style. And that's what I'm doing with this whole entire collection right now, which is just really painting everything in my signature style so that my work is identifiably mine. So just gonna let this dry, then I'm gonna add in the stamens, add in more detail later on, but just kind of let this layer dry. So this is gonna take a little bit of time. But whilst that is drying, I'm gonna go back to my little blobs that I drew earlier, and these are gonna be characters, and I'll just shift that to the side and let that have its space to dry. So I've got my little blobs. These are gonna be fun little characters. I'm not really sure what I'm gonna draw, but I'm just gonna go with my creativity and inspiration as well. So I'm gonna start with the corner one. I'm gonna start with this little person over here. This kind of looks like it would be a head. It could be a head, someone's head, so I'm gonna be fine that that is the hair. It looks like it could be, or maybe it could be a hat actually. A hat or a bun. I think I'm gonna go with a bun. So this is someone's bun. I'm just gonna do lines for the hair, just like these wild lines coming up. Oh my gosh, this looks really funky hair. And these obviously like imaginary characters, so you can make it up and make it however you want it to be. So I'm just making it into a continuous line. I love doing these blob shape pieces because they're very free. I never know what any of the blobs could become. They could become any animal, any kind of character, and it's always a surprise to me, whatever the character's going to become. So it's really fun to experiment with and I guess play with. This is good. I'm liking how this onion hair is looking. Kind of reminds me of the layers of an onion or a garlic almost. This person's got some really crazy hair going on. I think I'll do some curls, make that bun a little bit more of a scribble, and then I'm gonna take some little curls coming off. Now let's go for the eyes. I don't know what I'm gonna do for the eyes. I think I'll go like this. Then we'll do some ear. Another ear over here. Let's go like that for the eyes. That works. I have no idea what I want to do with the eyes. I'm just going with whatever my heart desires. My heart is telling me this is how the eyes should look. So I think that I'm going to start with an eye. I guess you can never go wrong with starting with an eye and then seeing what you can create. Let's start with the eye. That looks cool. And then I think that I want to fill in the rest of it. So I'm going to go and use the other side to fill in bigger areas. This eye looks like it's very wide. And then what happens? Well, what kind of character is this? I don't know. Maybe it can be, yes, a bird. That's what it's going to be. That's what we're going to go with. We're going with the bird character. Fan its feet out. This is quite a random one. Random, but creative. Now, I'm trying to think, what do birds look like? I guess it's gonna have this kind of tail. I guess it's got to need to have some kind of wing as well. So I'll draw some kind of wing. I'll have some lines coming down for the wing. Pretty fun. I like that one. Very cool. Now this next one would definitely need to become a frog. Frogs are definitely my thing. I love drawing funky frogs all the time. His smile is so crazy. Oh, that's okay. I'll just draw a shape for the eyes. And I'm going to fill it in with the other side. The eyes look good. So I like that. And I'm just going to do some little lines all the way around. And I'm just going to start drawing lines for this bun. This definitely looks like it's a person. So I'm going to make this into some kind of fun kind of character. Just do like maybe like a hairband that separates the top of the hair from the bottom of the hair. I'm going to make that into like a black line. And then bring these strands all together into this bun. I'm really loving the buns today. Then for the hairline, do some kind of squiggles. And every single line is like a strand. And it's all about how you decide to interpret in drawings. Every single time you do a drawing, every time you make a decision of how you draw something, that is all informing your style. And that's what really this year has really been about, is really developing and honing my signature style. So when people see that my work, that it's recognizable, and then people are like, hey, that's Chantel Taylor Illustrations. And people know that that's my work because they can recognize the style. Like so many artists have a recognizable, distinctive style. I think that's what it's all about, is just really trying to develop that, find what that is for you, how you add pencil or pen to a page. How is that different from another artist? How is that different from how I do it? And some people really love staying really realistic. Some people really love doing highly detailed ones, or adding something super fun, or scribbling more on their work. And I saw this artist who, like, all of her lines, I can't remember who the artist was, but all her lines were literally just with black ballpoint pen, scribbled, completely made up scribbled, but they were hyper realistic, like kind of hyper realistic portraits and images. And I thought it was so cool because it was like that looseness, but also with the technical detail, and I really loved that a lot. And I can't remember her name, but if anyone can figure out who that is, let me know in the comments from the description of what I've just said, but I thought her work was really inspirational. I think for the nose, I'm gonna do like that, and that works for the nose, right? Looks nice. Very cute button nose. And then let's give you a nice lip, just a little bit of a shadow under the lip. And I like to break up the lines when I go around a character. I don't like to fully add loads of lines. I feel like it looks more whimsical when you break up the line a little bit. Let's do some eyelashes. That's nice. I think I'll add some eyelashes on the other side and below. So I'm quite happy with her. I don't know if I want to add anything else. I'm going to add blush. So this is probably the first time that I'm going to go for the pencils. I wasn't planning on using any pencils, but I feel like she could do with just a teeny tiny bit of blush. That's barely showing up. I don't know if that's a good thing or if I should try and do something that's more dramatic. Actually, I think that's nice, just like having a bit of a blush that you can barely see, because her face is already red, so we'll just leave it like that. I'm just going to keep adding all of these lines for the hair. Oh, this is such a funky character. I don't know what I should call her. I'm just going with what my heart feels like. This is how this character should look. So I'm going to go with the lines. So now that I can go back to this one, I can start adding some details to it. That go in with the black pen. I think I'm just going to add some kind of like lines to show that it's a plant pot. So I'm just going to make it broken lines here. I like the style of that. And then with the flowers themselves, I'm going to go in and just use some of the black pen to define some areas. And I think that I'll take the orange and just start adding in where I want my stamens to be. So this one's really good. This should be a nice little stamen here. And here for this flower over here, so I'm going to add the orange. I'm just going to add the stamens in first actually. I think I'll do orange for this flower too. And then for the others, I'm going to go in with brown. And brown over here as well. And then I'm just going to go in with this little black liner. Just do these little circles, the stamens, lining some of the stems, but not all of them. I want some of them to stay undefined. Some of the leaves as well, but some again undefined. I'm just being super loose with it. And just making sure that this maintains its freeness almost. So just going very jaggedly around any flowers shapes that I can see. This is a flower. So I'm just doing these glob shapes around. Oops, I forgot to do the middle of that flower. How did I miss that? I'm gonna go in with the brown again. Can't believe I missed this one. So I've done that. And then I can do this little half circles for the stamen and do a few dots as well. And then I'm just gonna do a few lines here to show that's where the petal is. And I'm gonna get a little bit of a pink, draw a few lines on it. And it's very light, only shows up lightly. I don't want it to be bold or anything like that. I just want it to show just a few aspects of the lines on the petals. Sizes. Flowers are in all different shapes and sizes. So you can make them up as you go along and not really worry about them looking too unusual, because there's so many different unusual shapes to flowers. So I'm just adding my pencil here, just adding those lines that you can find on petals. And then I'm kind of happy with that. I'm going to add that, leave that leaf like blank, but I'm going to add a little bit of pencil detail. Add some pencil detail. And I think I'll add a bit of pencil detail over here too. And these Caran d'Ache pencils are just so good. They're so buttery and smooth. I'm just absolutely obsessed. So would highly recommend them to anyone if you've not used them before. They are really lovely quality. So that is so good so far. I think I'm pretty happy with it, and I don't really need to add anything else to it. Start working on the background of my character. So I usually like to do that with watercolor. So I'm gonna take a purple, because I think that would go really lovely with the green. And I'm just gonna go in the background with this purple. And I really love this purple a lot, simply because it is very glittery. So this is a nice metallic one. You might not be able to see it right now, but once it dries, you'll be able to see the metallic details. And I just love little fun details like that when it comes to illustrations and different paintings. I just love different fun details like sparkle and things like that. And that's something you'll learn about me if you stick around and you see my art. I love adding that really beautiful detail. And I think that green is just probably one of the easiest colors to work with. In my mind, I just think green looks so good. And acrylics are super forgiving too. I love watercolor and acrylic together, because you get the creamy thickness of the acrylic and the coverage of it, but you also get that soft floaty feeling of the watercolor as well, which is why I like to mix both of them in my work. And I just like to take lots of really painterly strokes. I'm not afraid of brush strokes showing. In fact, I also want to create more brush strokes as well whilst I'm doing this, so that I can have a really painterly look. I bet no one else's frog looks this fashionable. So I'm just adding some blue to some areas of the dress. And again, I'm using those painterly brush strokes so that it shows texture, and that's like the style that I want. So I'm making sure to do dabs, strokes backwards and forwards, because I want to show as much texture in my painting as possible. I really love that homemade look, that homemade back to basics kind of style. And I think that a lot of people are really loving homemade style work as well. People are really craving that kind of connection to a maker who has made their art. I'm gonna start working on this one whilst this one dries, and then you'll be able to see me come back to this one later. So we're going to do the same thing again with the background. I'm always going in with watercolor background, and then afterwards adding in acrylic or some other kind of color. So I'm going to go in with this very vibrant purple. That's what I was feeling today. I was like, oh, today we are going purple. That's it. And again, I'm going in with this very thick brush filled with a lot of water, just trying to get that kind of coverage all over the background. Again, more painterly strokes to give it that kind of texture that I want it to have. So now, just finishing off that collar. Now that I've added the green to the body, I've added all different details. I just need to let this dry now so that I can go back to the previous painting. So now that we've let this one dry, now we can go back in and start adding some bits and pieces. So I want to go in with the belt and the collars in the darker blue that we have here. So we've got that very dark cobalt blue. So I'm just gonna go in these areas and just start adding that in. Just being really thoughtful about how I layer it on, and also just adding that blue detail to the belt. I'm not sure, maybe I should add some detail to the dress in the blue, like adding some kind of like polka dots. Well, I'm going for it. That's what my heart desires, then that's what we're doing. We're going with polka dots. It's also about really just responding to what you feel will work best in your artwork. And that's what I feel would work best in this. So for this one, now I'm going to do her skin color. So I think I'm going to choose this brownish one, like tan. Just add that all over. Just blotch that around. and that's in the Watercolour. Now, I think that I missed a gap in the background there. I'll go back in with the original purple that I had. Drop that in there without, hopefully not messing up her skin colour. There, that's good. I think I'll come in a little bit closer to the hair as well there. I'm gonna just spread that out. Get close to the collar. I'm just gonna fill these lenses in with the black fully. And then for the hair, I think maybe I should do another watercolour for the hair. I think I will do watercolour for the hair maybe. I'm gonna go in with some kind of orange, well, yellow. I'm gonna go in with this bright colour here. This feels good. And we'll keep it like that for the hair. And I'll just need to let this layer dry. So now that it's dried, I can just add the final little touches. So I'm just gonna do her nose, her lips, and then I'm just gonna do that little outline thingy I do to the face. I'm just outlining her shape of her face, the ears. Ears are always so tricky. I never know what goes in these little bits here. I think that looks fine. And then for the hair, I'm gonna be doing loops, and I'm gonna go in with the thicker marker as well, just for the very outline of the hair, just like that. And then on the inside, I'll just do a few lines like this. And then she's got some little bun thing going on. And then I'll just have a few hairs flicking back, just doing that hairline kind of thing that the hair does. Just doing a few swishes with the pen to mimic the hairline, and then just a few little flicks around the edges, some baby hairs. And then for this, I'm not sure if I want to add anything on her top or anything. Might add something else on there, but now I'm just gonna do the lettering. So I'm gonna add the fashionably late there. No, I think I will add a black flower detail over here so that her top is not just blank. There's like a design going on. Maybe just a few dots here and here. Just a few dots. And then I think I'll add some more petals. Make sure that it looks like some kind of outfit design. So now I'm just gonna add the eye details for the frog. Just make the frog be looking down. And I'm just gonna add my little sketchy lines that I like to do around my characters, like this. Don't know if I'll add a few little eyebrows and just the nose as well, and just have it maybe like this, just adding just a few bit of that sketchy line detailing around the fingers, just doing some little flicks. And I do like to add little gaps in between because I don't want it to be 100% filled in. So I'm just adding some little details with these as well. Black line outlines. So I basically finished my paintings and we're at 4 o'clock, but I didn't spend that whole time painting because I actually forgot to check in when I had my lunch and went out to the shops as well. So I was doing a little bits and pieces. So I actually spent about 1 hour and a half doing these 4 paintings. So I finished the flowers. I also finished this character set as well. Then I also finished the frog too. And I also finished this one as well. This character is so cool. I love the Fashionably Late. I've been loving the Fashion Girls collection, loving the frog characters. And then of course this is like different. I think I'm gonna do some more florals as well to add to my collections. So that's what I've created so far. I hope you've enjoyed my video so far. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe and support this channel. And if you want to check out my website will be linked below in the description. See you later in the next video.